some other technical things too, like this was my first time teaching a bar chord boot camp in person.
Yeah, how'd that go?
At this one, it went really, really well. Really focusing on all the little mini adjustments that you can make with the angle of your index and where that thumb is and how that really affects the bar chord structure. If we're doing a lot of self-taught stuff, there are little tiny things that we might not realize that we're doing with the bar chord. So we got to diagnose a lot of them, and a lot of people walked out of it playing bar chords when they hadn't been able to before. So
that's a big feat.
Yeah, I was really proud of that.
Have you had people tell you that they've got like trouble with their thumb on the back? I mean, what do you find is happening with the thumb mostly? With the bar chord.
So a lot of times with the bar chord, with most chords, you want to have that thumb center in the back of the neck. And I found that with a lot of people struggling with bar chords, their thumb was over here, almost at the top of the headstock. And what that does is it automatically sets your index finger up to kind of not be at this straight angle. So when you bring that thumb over here, and in doing so you kind of drop this wrist below here, it straightens out this index finger so that you could get an even bar.
That's a good point.
And even more with this straightened out finger, you don't have to necessarily stop your tip of the finger at the G string. You can scoot your finger up a little bit more so that the strings don't land in your finger joints here.
Oh, yeah.
That'll create those. Yeah. Yes. If they land in the crease, you might get that C string to buzz and all the other ones to ring out. And that's kind of like, how is that happening? Like, I'm pressing it down and that one is still buzzing. So the string could fall in the crease of your finger. So really little kind of nitpicky things like that, but they're really going to improve your playing and your bar chords overall. So
nice.
So yeah, that was a really good workshop. One of my new favorites to teach, I would say.
Yeah, and I've heard that before actually. Gerald Ross teaches to use that finger up and over. And it's funny because when I try to do it that way, it feels really awkward. So I guess it just really depends on the length of the fingers, the strength of the hands, and the position of the wrist, I suppose.
And the big thing with bar chords and fretting in general is you want to just press those strings down just enough so they touch that fretboard. You don't have to do any more. So if you press way harder than you need to, you'll get some of that thumb strain also added onto it. So as long as those strings are making contact with that fretboard,
you
that's
don't have to push harder.
Right.
I had somebody do an exercise once, and I wish I could remember who it was. And they said, okay, put some pressure down, and it's like thud, 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 just like light pressure, and then put a little more, and put a little more. And then when they asked us, so what percentage pressure are you putting once you get that sound? And we're going, I don't know, 100%. And he's like, no, give us 100%. And we squeezed really hard, and the sound didn't change. So when we lightened up on the squeeze, we realized we were only at like 50% pressure to get the sound. But most of us just squeeze the heck out of it so that we know that it's going to come out. But then our hand cramps and it gets tired.
Really That's a great exercise. I like that. Yeah, because you don't need too much with it. But we're so like conditioned when we learn something new to get we get the gorilla grip. So once we get used to those shapes, we have to remind ourselves that we need to lighten up a little bit because we can get that same tone and it be a more articulate tone with less pressure. So
that could be like a metaphor for life.
It should be.
You don't need to grip life like this. Just lighten up a little bit.
just chill out.
You'll get the same results. You'll just enjoy yourself more.
Yeah.